Good day to all of you, my wonderful viewers. I am Advocate Nino Jumercio Correa. I have done my IT engineering, after which I did my 3-year law degree course, and now I'm a current practicing advocate. Before I begin, I would like to thank the headmistress of DPR High School, Mrs. Wilma Pereira, for having given me the privilege of speaking to you on the topic of constitutional values and fundamental principles of the Indian Constitution. Today being the Constitution Day of India, that is 26 November 2020. 26 November 1949 was the day on which the Constituent Assembly of India adopted the Indian Constitution for the first time, and hence the 26th of November is observed as the Constitution Day of India. Which now brings us to the question as to what is the Constitution of India. The Indian Constitution is said to be the supreme law of India. The document gives us a framework which gives us the fundamental political code, structure, procedures, powers, duties of government institutions, and also sets out fundamental rights, directive principles, and duties of citizens. A question for all of you: do you know which is the lengthiest written constitution in the world? Yes, you might have guessed it right. It is none other than the Indian Constitution. B.R. Ambedkar, also known as Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, is considered to be the chief architect of the Indian Constitution. Therefore, it is like saying, for any law or any act that comes into being which is made by the central government or the state government has to be done in accordance with the Constitution, because it is this Constitution that provides us with the guidelines to form any new laws by the central government or the state government. Now, these guidelines in simple legal terms are known as articles of the Constitution. Now, coming to the salient features of the Indian Constitution, of which some are considered the most fundamental principles of the Constitution of India. These include the Indian Constitution, like I said, is the most lengthiest and detailed of all written constitutions of the world. The next is a parliamentary form of government wherein the president is the constitutional head of the state, while the actual or the real executive power is with the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. The third one being a unique blend of rigidity and flexibility, meaning a rigid constitution because to make amendments in the constitution you need a special method or a special amending procedure for certain provisions. A flexible constitution because you do not need that special method of amendments for all the provisions, but only the most important provisions. The next being fundamental rights that we as citizens get through the Constitution. Please remember, neither the state government nor the central government can take away or deprive you of these fundamental rights. So please keep that in mind. Directive principles of state policy, which states the aims and objectives to be taken up by the state in its governance. A federation with strong centralizing tendency. Adult suffrage, which talks about voting for men and women above the age of 18 years of age, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, sex, and so on. And independent judiciary, which means that the courts are given the privilege, or rather the authority, to make independent decisions, independent of the central government, independent of the state government, or any other executive body known to us. The ninth one being that India, or rather the Constitution, makes India a secular state, which means India as a country does not support just one religion or does not take or follow just one religion, but rather it allows the coexistence of many religions in harmony with each other. The 10th one being single citizenship, which means no matter which part of India you are born in, you become a citizen of India. Just like fundamental rights, fundamental duties are also listed in the Indian Constitution for us to follow or rather undertake. Judicial review, which means that this concept allows the courts to decide on laws which are given by the governments as to whether they are done in accordance with the Constitution or not. So these were the essential features of the Constitution in brief. I'm pretty sure you must be bored by now, but don't worry, at your age I felt the same way. However, I will end this talk soon, but before I do, I have a small little message from my side for you that I would like you to remember and keep in mind at all times of your life. The Constitution of India, you need not know it in detail, but at least know the basics of what the Constitution has to tell us, because at your age you may be studying it just for the purpose of your exams, but at my age you will realize that anything and everything around you deals with laws, and these laws come into existence because of the presence of the Constitution. If you know the Constitution, you will empower not just yourself but the people around you, or rather you will make them aware or educate them on various aspects of the Constitution or of life. And on that educative note, I will end my talk here. Thank you for making the time to listen to me, and I do hope that some of you do take genuine interest on this topic of the Constitution, as we need some really good constitutional experts if we are to keep Goa running, or rather India as a whole running, as one of the top countries in the world. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.